going on, my good people? So I hit you out here on the nature walk. Living my life a little bit. Living my life like golden. Anyway, hey. More people scared to get that good vitamin D from that sun. Who they be scared of? Anyways, what are we here to talk about today? The children of the world. Children of the world. Hey man, I'm gonna sing a song with it because this gonna be something you done probably heard, but not heard like this maybe. I don't know. We'll see. So, you got these people. Something happened to them a long time ago. Something that happened. Been a whole bunch of little roadblocks. First, a big roadblock. Like, imagine you had parents in your whole life. You was never allowed to go outside. Then, you was in a house with a whole bunch of other little kids. And y'all had sex because there wasn't nothing else to do. And they ain't have a chance to go outside. And then they was kids in the house again. And eventually you get to an age where you get out, but everybody can't come with you. And some people never get to go outside. And so let's say that happened for 200, 300 years, where somebody wasn't allowed to go outside. Children of the world. Anyways, so for all the time, you didn't get to go outside. It's hard. Nope, you cannot go outside. They be like, Daddy, can I go outside, please? I've been good, I cleaned up. I cleaned your house up good. We cooked your food. The planes can we go outside, Daddy? No, you cannot go outside. 200 to 300 years. We don't know. They won't let nobody collect real history and figure out a real plan. They won't do it. Wouldn't do that. Wouldn't spend a dime or a minute on that. But anyways. So then they let you outside after 200, 300 years. But you don't know how to read. Let me tell you a story about somebody not knowing how to read. So, throughout my life, like, my dad didn't work real hard. My dad was a hard worker, dog. Like, what I learned from my dad was just like, work. That's my dad. Like, my dad worked. And like, if I needed something from my dad, like when he picked us up, on Friday night, Thursday night, whatever, man, Pop's gonna take you to work with him. Like, we got to work with my dad. He was a maintenance man. We got to see him fix stuff in people's house. You get to go in people's houses. You find out that people got very disgusting looking houses. But anyways, yeah, man. So I watched my father work, man. Work. And so he had a stroke. So boom, he had a stroke. Right side don't work no more. That's your dominant side. So now, working is hard. So watching my dad, struggle. And so me and my dad started having a conversation about being a man. Like, because I was like, okay, I know my dad as my father. Like, you love your father. But what do you know about him as a man? What do you know about your mom as a woman? Some of this stuff you probably don't want to know. And I found some interesting things that I put in my book, thegoodnarc.com. Go pick that up. But anyways, G-O-U-D. Anyways, back to my story. So I've been getting to know my dad as a man. And I've been learning that the same trials and tribulations that I'm having, my father had at my age. My grandfather had at my age. Like, going through my life, I'm like, damn. Like, so my dad and my uncles, they're like, they don't drink like that. They like go to church. They're extremely like, well-mannered, structured people. How y'all doing? Well-mannered, structured people, good people. But my grandfather was totally different. Everybody's opinion of my grandfather is totally different. Like, boy, he used to say nigga all the time. Everybody's a nigga. And I was like, damn, is that me? Grandfather had a sex addiction. Guess who else did? Me. So it jumped over them because they got to see it in real time. They tell me about my grandfather. I got to see the only vision of my grandfather that I remember is he had got out of jail for drinking, which I had a drinking addiction. He went to jail, he got out, and my sister had a basketball game. My sister's real good at basketball. And so he came to the game. And after the game, we walked to my dad's truck. And we all got in the van. It was a van. What the hell is that? What's going on? Oh, yeah, I don't know what that is. Oh boy. That look like hair or the shedding of some skin. Damn, bud. Let's get back down my weight. Okay. Be on that nature walk, child. You still gotta be on the swivel. Can't be out here blind. Too much stuff be happening. But anyways, back to my story. So, me and my dad talking. I'm hearing about his struggles with women. So my dad, he wasn't like me. So I had my dad, and my dad never learned how to read. And so I'm looking at all my dad's marriages. And it was probably my mama who was probably on his ass about learning how to read. And he didn't want to hear that shit. He'd rather go sleep in the woods. And he get another wife. And then she get on his ass about learning how to read. And he probably, I don't want to. I'm too busy. And then he didn't want to learn how to read. And then another wife come along. I don't want to learn how to read. Too busy. Then he get to his fourth wife. And then she end up passing on. Learning how, man, look, my dad can do carpentry work, plumbing work. He can fix cars. Man, my dad can do all of this stuff. Plumbing, electrical, all of this work. Very knowledgeable about everything. A lot of things carpentry. Can put together a whole house. My dad came up there and we got a lot of stuff done, man. Relentless worker. But had he learned how to read, he could have went and took a test with all of the knowledge he already had, took a test to become plumber, this, that. Now you can expound on your gifts because you learned how to read. So I'm sure a lot of arguments my dad had in his marriage were due to him just being fucking stubborn. But my dad made sure when he gave us gifts, it was like educational gifts. So we learned how to read. I was the first person to graduate from college. My sister graduated from college. Trailblazing. So But I feel like my dad ended up having a stroke because he wasn't living his true meaning. Like, you limit yourself, but you limit yourself on something really, really basic. And let's not get past this. It's really basic. 7-year-olds know how to read. And so you're going to have to learn how basic it is that a 7-year-old can do it. And then you can sit down and be mad if the 7-year-old say, well, you can't even read. You get mad at 7-year-old, want to beat up 7-year-old, but 7-year-old's right. You should know how to read because it's the most basic thing that you can learn how to do for yourself. You ain't gonna help nobody else if you don't learn how to read. Children of the world. Okay, let me tell you a story about a revelation that came to me. Revelations ain't only in the Bible. Revelations be happening to y'all too. So, a revelation came and said, boy, you don't never ask for help. I was like, what? And then it showed me a vision. And you always go back to these visions for a reason. It's the reason that vision came back. And so you go back to that vision. And so the vision went back to this thing. Like, I had this homeboy, right? And he stayed with his grandparents in Houston because he just wanted to stay in Houston, but his mom stayed in New York. So he ended up moving back to New York for a semester and a summer. So he come back to Houston and he had his move that he learned at, what is it, Far Rockaway? I don't know what the hell goddamn school is, but I know that's kind of what the name of the school is. So he come back with this move, man. I think they call it 3 option, but post people use it. And he came back with that move. And I said, God damn, boy, he was busting oh my God. I couldn't do nothing with it. But all that time he was my friend, I never asked him how to teach me how to do that move. And it was like, God said, man, you don't never ask for help. What's wrong with you, man? What's wrong with you? It ain't many self-made men out there. Like, you need a community, you need people, you gotta build a certain way. Your dad, he stopped doing one thing. Like, asking for help is really basic. Asking for anything is really basic. Like, remember when you was a kid and you used to ask for everything, your mom used to pop you on the hand and stop asking for everything. God in the Bible, well, Jesus explains how we should be more like children. Go read all the chapters on Jesus and you'll figure it out. I ain't for the do-do reading for you. I don't do nobody work. And so what I'm learning is my earthly father has ways. Children of the world. Why are we children of the world? Why are we children of the world? Because somebody kept you in the house. Your daddy told you you couldn't go outside for 300 years. Then he let you outside. And then you didn't know how to read. You didn't know how a lot of stuff. They ain't give you no 40 acres and a mule. They ain't give you nothing that they promised you. Then they gave you a Bible. And only one person could read it to you. And he had to be trained how to read it to you. So you really the children of the world. They took your whole culture. They said for 60 years, when they first got they lost the wars and everybody got captured and the people started getting shipped down over here. They spent 60 years, these people couldn't worship no God at all. They was hovering over. I wish you would worship God out loud. Sang a song. And that went on 60 years. You can lose your whole identity. Imagine y'all grandmother 60 years old and you 40, your daughter 20, and she done just had a daughter and she won. That's 4 generations, homie. 4 generations. You know how fast you can lose your identity with God in 4 generations? Boy, come here. So when we be talking to these people outside, a lot of times we really don't be having our back off our shit together, so to speak. Like, we just be trying to look good. show up in shiny suits, trying to shine quick. No. So some of these people know we be bluffing, so they still treat us like children because we, in most cases, still talk like children, still act like children. So look, I'm more like a Christian, but I'm not a religion-based person. I feel like we can learn from all races and all creeds of people, all different identity. We can learn from this. Okay, we still love our God. Okay, let people believe what they gonna believe, but you can learn something from what they doing that is not happening properly inside of your particular religion. That's what I feel. And so we the children of the world, dog. Like, people that kept us locked in the house. Your daddy said you couldn't go outside 300 years. Your daddy still, like, low-key just boss you around. Ooh, ooh. And then people from other nationalities, they come over and they boss you around. Don't nobody even say nothing about what happened. They over there in Germany kept all the camps open. All the camps open around Europe. So everybody can see what some people that did. Everybody can see. I'm not even gonna call them people's names. But in Europe, they keep all the camps open. And you gotta talk about it in school. Why? So people won't forget what they did. And it won't repeat again. And then they gave them people land and some money to build on their land and special information to build special weapons to protect their land, and they gave people everything. But what happened to these people that was in the house for 300 years happened. They had them in the house, and then we got like proof. Like my grandmother's grandmother, my mama Willie, her mama was in slavery. What you talking about removed? I knew my grandmother. What you mean? And they try to erase. Nope. Well, you talk about that? Y'all motherfuckers just be big. And goddamn, we gave y'all aid. Want no aid. 40 acres and a mule like you promised. And now, adjusted for inflation in the market, that's probably over 100. Give me that. Don't play with me. So anyways, y'all, we still be playing kids games, these people marching. Man, come on now. Let's get our money together. Let's get a moral code, because you're going to have a moral code going on these people. You can't go in there looking like we looking and talking about, yeah, give us something. Like, okay, let's say you messed up at your job. But in real life, because outside you got to look responsible. If you mess up at your job, you go back the next day, you have your suit pressed up, you looking good to ask for your job back. Yep, you show up like that because you want your job back, because your job pay you. But these kids that you popped out, when you mess up with them, you come back drunk. Oh, baby, you know I love you. Man, love is how I show love. Nigga come back look like a fucking zombie. And that's how people daddies be coming up. Boy, I watch my cousin's daddy show back up like that. I said, God damn, dog, you can't come back here with some fucking dignity. But this is the type of shit that we don't be talking about. Children of the world.